Now, John, at its heart, in the hushed doors of Canberra and the conversations around the Prime Minister, the thing I admire about the Indigenous sovereign movement is that it is absolutely honest, right? It is straight up. It is saying the problem exists from the start. Unless you reverse the start, then we're not interested in anything else. And that means you're coming to us, not us coming to you. John, this movement, I have a feeling, is going to become a place where younger voters are probably going to want to rally around more because it has this sort of revolutionary tone to it. What do you see for the future of the discussion around the Aboriginal sovereignty movement? Because, again, they may not get what they want this year, next year, but the Prime Minister hasn't said he won't legislate a voice, that he won't enter a treaty, that he won't do Makarrata, regardless of the referendum. So those people will be right on his doorstep on Monday, regardless of what happens.
Well, Paul, it's probably part of an international movement where you've got a major push coming from the left to try and have reparations made, if you like, for Indigenous people who have been affected by colonisation. No one pretends it's easy. No one pretends that bad things haven't happened. However, what's happened in Australia is that this sort of move towards separatism has crept up slowly. We've not really thought it through until the current debate, and Jacinta Price, of course, has absolutely nailed it. She has now clarified the debate enormously. We need to understand in Australia that this, in a sense, this whole debate goes to at its heart, are we going to be one people, or are we going to, in fact, somehow be a multiplicity of some vaguely different sovereignties? I don't know how that would work. I mean, who do you strike a treaty with? At the very least, there are 250 or 300 odd nations involved, we're told, because Aboriginality, of course, is a race. It's not a nationality. So how do you have treaties with yourself, as the point that John Howard makes, is an important first question. The second, though, is do we really want to divide? And I think it's worth making the point that the research suggests that the biggest single block of Australians in terms of voting intentions of all are those who are going to vote no because they believe it will divide us, not unite us. And I think they're right. That's certainly the group that I would identify with most. The other point I'd make is that all of this really builds the cat, that it's not so much about closing the gap and becoming one and being reconciled. It's about permanent difference and whether or not we embed that in the Constitution so that it is ongoing. These do go to the heart of what sort of Australia we want. And we need to be thinking more clearly and emoting a lot less because there's a lot at stake here. It's not good enough just to say it's the vibe.